Well, the 89th Texas legislative session ends today. Both chambers adjourned about 30 minutes ago, and it has been a busy and fast-paced 140 days of debating and passing bills. Let's get back to KVUE Political Director Ashley Goudeau, who's been live for us at the state capitol this afternoon. Hi, Ashley.
Hello, Jenny. You summed it up perfectly when you talk about describing these last 140 days, the 89th Texas legislative session. It has been a busy time, and the governor laid out 7 items that he wanted lawmakers to address specifically. Lawmakers got right to it, passing the first item on that list, which was education savings accounts for school choice. And as soon as that bill made it to his desk, we saw the governor turn his attention to bail reform. I am joined now by Kayla Guo, who is a politics reporter for the Texas Tribune covering bail reform. Talk to us a little bit about, there was really an appetite on both sides of the aisle to get some form of bail reform passed this session.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we saw months-long negotiations happening behind closed doors. Republicans needed at least 12 House Democrats to get on board in order to put a measure on the ballot for voters to decide on. They ended up being able to get that across the finish line. If voters approve it in November, it would require judges to deny bail in certain cases to some of the most violent felonies. That was, again, a deal worked out between the House and the Senate, between Republicans and Democrats. They have some other measures in there as well. It's tightening the bail system, which has been an Abbott priority for years. A couple other measures did not make it over the finish line, such as automatically denying bail to undocumented immigrants, and another tightening measure that would tighten bail laws. But they got the bulk of the package through, and so voters will see that in November and decide whether to support it.
Let's talk about that bill when it comes to immigrants that you mentioned. That fell by just about 4 House members, so yes. There was a little bit of buy-in, but just not enough to get to that 100 threshold.
Yes, it was a very tight vote. There was an attempt to bring it up again to see if they could scrounge up those 3 extra votes, but a lot of Democrats said that there was no amending the bill to get them to support it. They were worried about the rhetoric and the message that they felt that it sent, that immigrants are here to do violence, and they didn't agree with that. They didn't want us to put that message out there. So that was part of the bail package that Governor Abbott had pushed for. It did not make it through. So yeah, we saw the House stand up to that, and Democrats stand firm in their opposition to that measure.
I think in time after time when you talk to lawmakers, one of the big concerns was, were they going to be called back for a special session over bail reform? Was this going to be such a problem that you think we would have to come back? I want you to give us your take. Do you think we're going to have to come back for bail reform, or do you think that this package of bills gets the job done?
I mean, this has been described, the bills that made it across the finish line have been described as the centerpiece of the bail package. So I think this is a major legislative victory for the governor and for the Democrats and everybody else who supported it. In the past, when bail was a big issue, a contentious issue for specials and that sort of thing, there just wasn't the support for it generally, but I think because they got a big portion of the package through, I think I would be surprised if we saw bail on a special session, but who knows? We could see it tacked on if there are other issues that.
Yeah. I think covering for a little while, I feel like the governor's going to take his win where he gets his win, and he's set to sign these bills in Houston tomorrow.
Yes, he will be signing these bills tomorrow in Houston, and that will, I'm sure, be a big celebratory event for him.
Yeah, and a big note, because we have had so many cases of people who were repeat offenders then going out and killing someone else in Houston. Houston has really been sort of what some would describe as the problem child, right, in the state when it comes to bail reform.
Totally. Harris County featured prominently in all of Governor Abbott's campaigning on this issue, and Republicans who were trying to convince Democrats to join them in support. We saw advocates honing in on cases out of Harris County. Obviously, that's been sort of an ongoing contentious issue of how Harris County approaches bail, but so people really honed in on the cases out of Harris County, and victims' families came forward who live in Harris County and said, my mother, my father, my husband, whatever, was harmed by this person who was out left on bond, and I don't understand why that is allowed.
Yeah, so we'll be interesting to watch that tomorrow. Kayla Guo, politics reporter for the Texas Tribune, we thank you so much for taking some time out to talk with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.